sonhos no mundo esportivo. Temporada de sonhos, um confronto dos sonhos, oportunidades de sonhos. Talvez porque o esporte nos faz imaginar como gostaríamos que o mundo fosse, se o palco fosse armado do jeito perfeito.
It was one of those times none of us will ever forget.
Com os personagens perfeitos.
But Angola's in trouble.
No momento perfeito.
11 Hall of Famers. I don't think you can ever do that again, at no point in time.
Se tudo fosse como nós sonhamos.
Oh, are you filming?
Yep.
That was the most exhilarating 15 seconds of my life.
People perceived us as being superheroes.
Please, Michael Jordan!
No Isaiah Thomas
No Isaiah
stuff.
Thomas question.
Cool.
We became a team, and that team just stomped on everybody.
This never happened in sports, nowhere.
Well, I figured eventually there'd be a movie made about the Dream Team.
This group may well be the greatest team ever assembled in the history of team sports.
O Sport TV Repórter de hoje vai voltar no tempo, precisamente até 1992, ano em que 12 homens encantaram o mundo com o sonho de um time perfeito. O documentário The Dream Team, o time dos sonhos, foi produzido pela NBA, a Associação Norte-Americana de Basquete, e mostra os bastidores da equipe liderada por Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson e Larry Bird, formada para disputar os Jogos Olímpicos de Barcelona. Foi o fim das restrições aos atletas profissionais em 1989 que permitiu a reunião dos astros do basquete numa competição olímpica. Mas o que faria jogadores milionários se juntarem para disputar uma competição cujo objetivo não eram os dólares? Um motivo importante o bastante para fazer Magic Johnson, aposentado por ser portador do vírus HIV, voltar a brilhar nas quadras.
God bless you and God bless America.
20 anos podem passar rápido e o mundo não espera que você se lembre como as coisas mudaram. 1992 foi uma época de mudanças. Novos personagens do cenário norte-americano logo se transformaram em ícones culturais. E os astros da NBA são o melhor exemplo disso. Os lendários jogadores dos anos 80 tinham levado a liga de basquete a um novo patamar. E uma nova safra de jogadores a levava ainda mais longe. Graças ao talento e carisma, eles eram mais do que jogadores de basquete. Eles eram um novo modelo de atleta-celebridade, cuja popularidade ia além do esporte.
Is it the shoes?
No, Mom.
Os melhores entre os melhores aguardavam para se apresentar no maior palco esportivo do mundo, os Jogos Olímpicos de Barcelona, na Espanha, mesmo sem ter ideia do impacto que causariam.
It's a watershed moment in the history of sports, not just the Olympics, not just basketball. It moved the culture along.
Mas em 92, nem todos estavam prontos para eles. Nem todos achavam que havia lugar para astros profissionais nas Olimpíadas.
This kind of thing had never, ever been done. So there was a lot of, poking the bear, if you will, by people in my profession. Sports journalists and journalists in general were skeptical, angry, because this wasn't the Olympic movement.
O ideal olímpico sempre se baseou na competição amadora. Portanto, os Estados Unidos sempre enviaram equipes compostas por universitários, times que dominaram o esporte por décadas. Em 1972, um painel de jurados deu à União Soviética uma vitória polêmica sobre os Estados Unidos na final em Munique. Até hoje, aquela equipe americana se recusa a aceitar as medalhas de prata. O resultado foi atribuído ao acaso, considerando que os americanos levaram o ouro nas duas participações seguintes nos Jogos. Porém, enquanto os Estados Unidos comemoravam, o resto do mundo diminuía a diferença. Em 88, quando os soviéticos venceram novamente, ninguém falou em acaso.
With a semi-final loss to the bigger, more experienced USSR team.
I was embarrassed. I know some of the guys left their medals there in the room. They didn't want to take them home. And here we are, USA on our chest, and we didn't get the job done.
Mas o ideal do amadorismo tinha sido ofuscado. Embora os jogadores da NBA fossem proibidos de competir nas Olimpíadas, profissionais de ligas de outros países tinham permissão para jogar.
If you played in Europe for money, you were an amateur, but if you played in the NBA for money, you were a professional. And so our players weren't eligible.
Those other countries were using pros, playing against 18, 19-year-old kids. That is really unfair.
Acabar com essa hipocrisia era o objetivo principal de Boris Stankovic, presidente da FIBA, a Federação Internacional de Basquete.
He was very much intent on lifting basketball up to the highest possible level of international sports. And if the whole world knew that the very best players in the world were not participating in the Olympics, that made it a second-class event.
Em 89, Stankovic liberou a participação olímpica de profissionais de todas as ligas. Porém, nos Estados Unidos, a NBA não se empolgou com a ideia.
We wanted to be good partners with FIBA to grow the sport of basketball, but we weren't particularly anxious. We didn't know what it would mean. We didn't know if our players would want to do it. We didn't know what the logistics were. But the vote passed, and NBA players were eligible for the Olympics.
A questão deixou de ser se os profissionais americanos poderiam competir e passou a ser se os melhores jogadores estariam dispostos a participar.
The one guy that we were a little concerned about was probably Michael.
The thought back then was Michael Jordan plays 36 holes of golf 90 days during the summer. What the hell is he going to be doing playing basketball?
I was hoping they would not ask me to participate. And I was trying to figure out a way graciously that I could decline. I'd done the Olympic thing before, and when Rod Thorne called me and asked me, I wasn't gung-ho about it.
My appeal to him was, you're the top player in the world. This is bigger than the NBA Finals. And, we need you. His thing, well, who else is playing? I mean, are all the good players going to play? I'm not going to play by myself.
Michael Jordan esperou para saber mais detalhes, enquanto Rod Thorne pensava em outros nomes.
It was a no-brainer for me. I was in from day one. And I figured if I jumped in first and said I wanted to play, that would get guys to want to participate as well.
I think if Magic wasn't on that team, I don't think it would have been as spectacular as it was. And to finish out our careers, that was important for both of us.
Once you get guys like Magic and Larry committing to the team, then all of a sudden it becomes something very, very special. Representing the USA is already a tremendous honor, but to know that you're going to be on a dream team is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Magic, Bird e David Robinson não foram os únicos a expressar esse orgulho.
Called in the big guns. We're the Navy SEALs that we had to go over there and kick butts and take names.
Com esses astros e a dupla John Stockton e Karl Malone do Utah Jazz, o Dream Team estava ganhando forma.
It don't matter if you call me last. I got the call.
I didn't feel like that I deserved to be called, but I truly wasn't going to tell them that.
I was like, yeah, I'm in. I didn't even think to say who was on the team. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Yes.
O talento de Charles Barkley nunca esteve em dúvida, mas sua postura, sim.
God want us to win the world championship.
I don't know if I go that far, Charles.
No, I talked to him the other night.
I learned early in Philadelphia. It doesn't matter what I say. So from this day forward, I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say.
Puts it up.
Em qualquer edição anterior das Olimpíadas, Leitner poderia ter sido o maior astro da equipe. Mas nessa equipe, ele se contentou em ser o último entre os reservas.
I tell people this all the time, and it may shock them, but my most enjoyable year was my freshman year because they don't expect nothing from you except carry the luggage, do the laundry, and get our donuts. And that's easy. The harder thing is to be the leader.
Em maio de 92, 2 meses antes das Olimpíadas, o time estava formado. Um universitário e 11 futuros membros do Hall da Fama. O responsável por coordenar as peças seria o inabalável Chuck Daly.
Okay, all set?
All set.
Chuck looked the part. He was the guy that looked like he owned the arena, but he would also...
Still champions of the world!
Os Pistons ganharam o apelido de Bad Boys por seu estilo agressivo, que para alguns era jogo sujo. Esse estilo ganhou destaque nos playoffs contra os Bulls de Michael Jordan.
Detroit and Chicago had no love for each other.
Quando Daly foi escolhido técnico do Dream Team, muitos se perguntaram como ele lidaria com o astro do Chicago Bulls.
I was being asked to wrestle with some demons and some issues.
Apesar de tudo, o técnico tinha experiência em administrar fortes personalidades.
He coached the bad boys. And if you can coach those, you can coach anybody.
Um jogador que Daly não comandaria nas Olimpíadas seria seu próprio astro do Detroit, o armador Isaiah Thomas, que não foi convocado, causando controvérsia.
No matter how much people try to say now, it was no big a deal. It was a big deal.
I talked to Isaiah at the beginning of the year about the aspect he wasn't on the team, and he was not comfortable with it. I'm sure he is very hurt. He's a very deserving player, but he was not selected.
Thomas estava bem encaminhado para o Hall da Fama, mas era visto por muitos como o maior incentivador da imagem de Bad Boys do time de Detroit.
Isaiah was the general. He was the guy that would yap at his teammates and say, knock them on the ass, do whatever you got to do.
A beautiful backdoor pass from Pippen, and he is walloped. He knew he was going to get hit.
I despised the way that he played the game.
Did you want him on the Dream Team?
No, I did not want him on the team.
Now, there has been speculation that your icy relationship with Isaiah Thomas is the reason that he was not selected. Well, what is your reaction to that?
That was one of the stipulations put to me prior to me even committing, that Isaiah wasn't a part of the team. I was getting strong innuendos that it wasn't just, it was coming from higher places that didn't want Isaiah Thomas on the team.
Everybody had fresh in their mind the picture of Isaiah walking off.
Pistons wasting no time in getting out of here. They left the bench, although there's 7 and 9/10 seconds remaining. The Pistons just left.
When the Pistons walked off the court before the final bell, I think it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
All right, no Isaiah Thomas stuff.
Jordan e a equipe se cansaram de responder perguntas sobre Isaiah, mas com a pré-temporada se aproximando, havia uma pergunta importante a ser respondida. Como seria a relação entre os 12 astros escolhidos?
Veja daqui a pouco as dificuldades do técnico Chuck Daly em montar um time com tantas estrelas. E o que faria Magic Johnson, aposentado, contaminado pelo vírus HIV, voltar às quadras para disputar uma Olimpíada?
Olá, seja bem-vindo ao Aqui Tem Natura. E hoje vamos ver os melhores momentos da perfumaria Natura.
Hoje eu vim tentar descobrir como as pessoas que vivem em movimento gostam de se perfumar. João, você que pratica stand-up, esse esporte aquático, qual a importância do movimento na sua vida?
Jamais na história do basquete um técnico teve nas mãos uma equipe com tantos astros. No entanto, Chuck Daly teve dificuldades em administrar o ego das grandes estrelas do esporte. E logo no primeiro jogo-treino, o Dream Team passou por uma situação inusitada.
Os treinos começaram no dia 22 de junho de 92 em La Jolla, na Califórnia. Quando as portas do ginásio se abriram, ninguém sabia o que esperar, especialmente os próprios jogadores.
A lot of egos in one gym and on one team. Everybody wanted their form to shine and showcase why they were a part of this team.
With all these stars on the team, if it comes down to the last shot, who's going to take the shot?
Me. Everybody in the world has an ego. The only difference between us, we have a reason to have an ego.
Every one of us felt like we was the everybody.
Desde o começo do treino, naquele primeiro dia, todo jogador parecia determinado a provar o talento que tinha.
It was a very competitive practice, and I'm thinking, aren't we all on the same team?
Patrick go, I don't want to play with David, I want to play against him. Then you hear Michael say, I don't want to be on Magic's team, I want to play against him.
Every evaluation of Michael Jordan at that time was, he's good, but he's never Magic Johnson. In my competitive nature, I want to use every little bit that I could gather so that I can gain an advantage.
Poucos dias depois, a equipe teve a oportunidade de se acostumar a jogar no mesmo time. Chuck Daly organizou um amistoso contra uma seleção de universitários, um time empolgado para enfrentar seus ídolos.
I found out today I might be picking up Magic a little bit full court, so things are just happening for me that really makes me happy.
My whole thought process was don't embarrass yourself, and that was like the theme for me, like just hang in there.
A lot of those people that I've looked up to, Barkley, Malone, a lot of those people talk confidence, and I think it's going to be a good matchup, There's no advantage on either side.
Para os universitários, era a chance de descobrir como eles se sairiam contra os melhores do mundo. Para Daly, era a oportunidade de fazer sua equipe crescer como time.
I think we're somewhere between the mentality of an all-star game and trying to come together as a team. So we've got to continually work on this.
Daly havia sido contratado por sua habilidade em administrar personalidades e egos. E quando o amistoso começou, ficou claro que esses egos, uma das grandes armas de seus jogadores, não estavam lá.
A non-fan would think, well, they're going to go in there and they're each going to want their own ball, and Jordan's going to be hogging the ball, and Magic's going to be dribbling all over the place. Point of fact, it was the exact opposite. They overpassed.
It was like, I don't want to start it off, you do it. And before you realize it, the select team was beating us by 10.
We didn't know how to play with each other. We didn't want to step on anybody's toes or hurt any egos. So these young kids, they were killing us.
We were not into it, and we paid for it.
Daly viu atletas incapazes de tirar a diferença no placar. E no primeiro encontro com um rival, o Dream Team perdeu. Era justamente a história que o técnico não queria que a imprensa espalhasse.
I remember Chuck saying, as soon as the game ended and we were getting ready to let media in, it was erase the scoreboard.
Media comes in, scores, if not hundreds. They can sense something. You can feel the tension, or you can feel something in the air.
Well, some of these college players we've just got through playing against probably should be on this team, but they'll get their chance.
As equipes posaram juntas para uma foto, ainda sem entender o que tinha acontecido. Mas o comandante talvez tivesse a resposta.
He threw the game. Chuck threw the game. If you look how much Jordan played and how he subbed guys in, not picking up, not making any adjustments, he knew what he was doing.
It was gratifying to Chuck for us to get our butts beat like that, because now we had to listen to him.
From then on, he had a way of just saying, you could lose.
After fixing his collars and his hair, his speech was, anybody can get beat, so you gotta be ready to play. And I think that's the only speech he ever gave us.
The message got across. I mean, Chuck couldn't have been happier, I'm sure.
It was brilliant on Chuck's part to be able to orchestrate that and play along like he didn't.
Why didn't he tell you guys?
We probably would have screwed it up.
No dia seguinte, o Dream Team jogou uma revanche contra os universitários. E quando a partida começou, tudo voltou a fazer sentido.
The tables were turned drastically.
We showed them why we are who we are. We pretty much beat them by 100.
They couldn't score. And by the way, Jordan played a lot more that next scrimmage.
Antes de competir nos Jogos de 92, o Dream Team precisava se classificar, o que aconteceria em Portland, Oregon, na Copa América. O público teria sua primeira oportunidade de ver os astros da NBA juntos em ação, especialmente Jordan, Bird e Magic. Dele pediu que os três fossem os capitães, mas Jordan recusou.
I knew how much it meant to both of those guys because they never had the opportunity to play on the Olympics. So I said, you know what, Chuck, don't worry about me. You know, let these old dogs do it.
Além de serem os jogadores mais velhos da equipe, Magic e Bird também eram os mais venerados. Chegaram juntos à Liga em 79 e criaram uma rivalidade que redefiniu a NBA. Nesse processo, a admiração mútua cresceu entre eles.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
Em 92, eles dividiriam o mesmo lado da quadra, mas essa oportunidade surgia no fim de suas carreiras. Bird entregou sua alma ao jogo, mas após 13 anos estava sendo traído pelo próprio corpo.
Had back problems. It just gets to the point where you just couldn't play. I mean, you couldn't think, couldn't move, couldn't run. You know, if you can't feel your feet, it's hard to run.
Larry was on the fence because of his back, so I said, man, LB, you gotta play, man. You gotta play. This is our last chance to be together.
Magic convenceria seu velho amigo a jogar, mas no começo da temporada 91-92, o próprio Magic foi forçado a se aposentar ao descobrir que era portador do vírus HIV. Ele recebeu alta para jogar as Olimpíadas, mas isso não impediu que o medo circulasse entre os atletas.
There's a lot of players that really didn't want him to play, didn't want to play with him or against him because nobody knew what disease meant. You know, they say you get a little blood on you, you got HIV, or you breathe on you, you know. I never bought any of that, you know. You just keep going. And that's what Irving decided to do, just keep pushing, keep going.
6-5, three-pointer.
Our careers were really over, and it was something I thought needed to happen for both of us.
Eles precisavam de uma medalha na Copa América para se classificar para as Olimpíadas. Isso parecia inevitável para praticamente todos, incluindo seus primeiros adversários, que estavam deslumbrados mesmo antes do jogo.
The Cuban team spontaneously drops to its knees as if 12 popes had come by on Easter Sunday. At that point, the idea that this is merely a basketball game has been ripped asunder.
It was a surreal feeling. She's like, dude, we're here to kick y'all behind. And they want to take pictures with you.
Then the game begins. Magic and Larry come out together, two guys that had saved the league. They wouldn't even be playing this game without those two. And Magic passed the ball. Larry makes the first basket.
Banking in, goes to the fadeaway.
I mean, you know, it just didn't get any better than that.
A equipe americana disparou e o resultado foi um espetáculo. Foi uma apresentação praticamente irretocável. A margem da vitória foi de 77 pontos, com Magic e Bird na liderança. Para Magic, especialmente, após um ano sem jogar, a vitória teve um significado especial.
Living with HIV, never even thinking that I would ever have a chance to play basketball again, and then basketball for the United States. It was therapy for me, and I needed that in the worst way.
Money.
E ele também queria mostrar a Michael Jordan que estava de volta.
Yeah, you hear what the captain said? The captain say, sit down, or this boat is going to sink.
That's right. Have a seat, because you're going to fall, and then it's going to happen.
That's the seniority right there.
I know it.
With Magic and Michael, there was that little extra something there, you know, and something kind of to prove to each other.
I took it upon myself to always shoot with Michael. Okay, MJ, free throws today. Who's the first one to 50? Or we had little games, who was the better shooter?
You know what you got to do. Know what you got to do. Here it is.
He didn't want to relinquish that control of the 80s, in a sense, even though we were going into the 90s.
Don't touch the phone. One hand, don't touch it. Don't touch
it. You know, he just come off missing a whole year. So it was who can win, who's going to have the bragging rights by the end of this trip.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
You haven't committed a foul in almost a year and a half, man. How can you talk? Michael's always tried to let people know that he's the top dog in whatever. That's just his competitive mode. I'm the young guy with the elder statesman. These old guys, they got arthritis. They can't stand in one spot too long.
He's a young puppy. I'm the big dog here. Whatever I say goes.
Na disputa entre Magic e Michael, não havia vencedor ainda, mas na hora de encarar a Copa América, a equipe estava unida.
When we took the court in Portland, which, you know, we're on home ground, we wanted to showcase to the fans who would be representing them.
The lead is 30. Steele. Jordan.
I'm gonna send a message around the world today that y'all can give it up. You foreigners can give it up.
Mullen with the steal. Stockton has Mullen. Goes the other way. Stockton set him up perfectly.
Os americanos venceram os 6 jogos do torneio com uma média de 50 pontos de vantagem.
All right, Larry, your impressions of tonight's game.
A medalha de ouro não foi surpresa. O inesperado foi a interação da equipe com os adversários que os veneravam antes, depois e até durante os jogos.
Magic Johnson and Oranga shaking hands after this shot.
A Copa América serviu a seu propósito. Os Estados Unidos se classificaram para os Jogos de Barcelona e deram ao mundo o primeiro gostinho do que estava por vir nas Olimpíadas.
Let's say this is just a small step in what our goal really is, to get to Barcelona, win the gold medal and bring it back where it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Nos Jogos Olímpicos de 1992, o Dream Team monopolizou as atenções em Barcelona. Todos queriam ver Michael Jordan e Magic Johnson na campanha do ouro olímpico. No próximo bloco.
Eu sou o V. O V que vem antes do W e depois do U. O V de velocidade. O V de vitória. V de vibração. Eu sou o V de Shell V-Power. O V.
Durante os Jogos de 92 em Barcelona, uma multidão seguia cada passo do time dos sonhos, formado pelos ídolos do basquete americano. Uma paixão que atravessou fronteiras e conquistou o coração de fãs no mundo inteiro.
A seleção americana de basquete aterrissou em Barcelona para os Jogos no dia 24 de julho. O que estava por vir seria uma experiência sem igual para eles e para todo o mundo dos esportes.
Plane landing in Barcelona, helicopters flying over it.
We're thinking, wow, what is all the commotion? What happened? And then we figured out they were there for us.
that was the first time that we realized how popular and how enormous this thing was. I was like, guys, if we lose, it's going to be like the biggest upset in sports history.
Quando perguntaram ao Charles sobre o primeiro adversário da equipe, sua previsão mostrou a sinceridade de sempre.
I don't know anything about Angola, but Angola's in trouble, I think.
This actually may be the biggest mismatch of the entire Olympics. Barkley off a beautiful feed from Mullen, and he drew the foul. Magic right back to the U.S. with a 46-1 run. 46-1.
It was just a tremendous atmosphere because there was an appreciation for how great the U.S. players were.
No intervalo, a previsão de Barkley parecia exata, mas no segundo tempo, Charles se meteu numa encrenca.
I had players in Angola who play against Charles Barkley. They told us there's no a kid, a fat boy, is many aggressive in the paint.
Rebound Barkley. Rebound Barkley, and he's fouled and shoves David Dion. Well, Charles getting a bit aggressive.
I thought they were playing dirty, and I told old boy, I don't even know if he understood. I said, hey man, ease up on the elbows.
Barkley from Pippen.
I let it go twice.
You can see the frustration with Barkley.
And the next time, I just cracked it.
Barkley from Pippen. And a technical foul has been called on Barkley.
To his dying day, Charles claims the guy elbowed him 3 times. I said, Charles, you know, you're full of crap.
No, it's not true. I didn't elbow Barkley before the incident.
People always say, turn the other cheek. If you turn the other cheek, I'm gonna hit you another cheek too.
I thought, what are you doing, Charles? The guy is half your size, but you know, Charles was an equal opportunity abuser.
Erlander Coimbra did not think it was a friendly elbow.
That's the same guy that just asked you for an autograph, Charles. I mean, you think he's not intimidated?
I think he's act like a bullying, but maybe it's from his personality.
The United States has defeated Angola by the score of 116-48.
Os Estados Unidos venceram de lavada, mas o resultado foi ofuscado pela controvérsia.
Who else with the elbow? Well, he hit me, I hit him. That's the way it is.
Charles made you look like the ugly Americans, which we were trying not to do.
We said to Charles, look, man, you're a reflection of all of us. So if you do it, they're not going to write the article that Charles Barkley did. They're going to say the dream team.
Barkley manchou a estreia dos sonhos para os americanos, mas no jogo seguinte, contra a Croácia, os holofotes se voltaram para Scottie Pippen e Michael Jordan, com foco em seu duelo com um dos melhores jogadores da Europa, Tony Kukoc.
Major storyline that carries into this game involves Tony Kukoc, second-round pick of the Chicago Bulls back in 1989. The Bulls made a strong push to sign him last season.
At that time, general managers in the league were trying to come up with gems, you know, make their discoveries overseas. And Krause thought this guy could play in the NBA.
Enquanto Jordan e Pippen conquistavam títulos consecutivos, o presidente dos Bulls, Jerry Krause, tentava seduzir Kukoc a jogar pelo time.
Krause was recruiting this guy and talking how great he was. You know, that's like a father who has all his kids and now he sees another kid that he loves more than he loves his own. So we were not playing against Tony Kukoc. We were playing against Jerry Krause in a Croatian uniform.
Infelizmente para Tony Kukoc, ele virou alvo dos 2 melhores defensores do mundo.
They was debating who was going to guard him. No, I got it. No, I got it.
I'm looking at Michael and Scottie, and they're ready for, like, blood. Like, man.
We knew the world was going to be watching. We knew everyone wanted to see what Tony Kukoc was like, and we were going to give him the worst experience he ever had on the basketball court.
Pippen foi encarregado da marcação inicial a Kukoc e frustrou o croata desde o início.
It was hard to run across the half court without a ball. And with the ball, it was just, here, somebody else get it.
Tony definitely wasn't getting a shot up, and he wasn't going to score.
Kukoc is nothing for 4, and he's contributed nothing.
We wanted to go guard him on the bench.
Kukoc is called for the offensive foul, and the pressure continues.
E quando Pippen já tinha desgastado Kukoc, chegou a vez de Jordan.
Kukoc, stolen by Jordan. He reads it better than anyone. Slam dunk.
Them dudes were all over him.
Rejected Kukoc. Here's a 3-on-2. Pippen.
I had questions from my teammates during the game, like, what is going on? Do you not see that they're really trying to get you off the court? And I'm like, so what? I guess that's how NBA game is played.
Pippen, Jordan e o Dream Team conquistaram com facilidade mais uma vitória. Dessa vez a vantagem foi de 38 pontos, porém houve uma certa crítica a esse domínio.
This team of All-Stars is almost too good. Is it a positive or a negative?
Passaram a perguntar, será que o Dream Team é bom demais?
This team of All-Stars is almost too good. Some think that we should go back to the collegians. It's been too easy.
I think then we ought to ban the African runners from the 10,000 meters because they make it look so easy as well. This is about our best, and this is wonderful for the sport of basketball.
Irvin, there's been some comments that the Dream Team is getting all the attention, and there seems to be some resentment about it. Have you heard about it, and do you have any feelings about it?
Basically, we haven't heard about it. We're just here to do our job.
A mídia procurava sinais de oposição, mas em Barcelona e no mundo inteiro, a aceitação do time dos sonhos era universal.
You're gonna stand out and root against Picasso? I mean, seriously. They rooted for genius at work.
I kept thinking that the attention would dissipate. They're going to play the first game. They're going to win by 60. People are going to go back and watch track.
Jordan in transition with the slam to give Team USA a 60-point lead.
It didn't. It kept building and building and building.
The U.S. with another trouncing 127-83, 127 points.
Workers were trying to get autographs. The security people were trying to get autographs. All the athletes were standing on side like a parade.
What a ball fake by Scottie Pippen. It is a 58-point lead.
People perceived us as being superheroes.
This was a blowout on the U.S. men's Olympic team.
The guy on the bench is taking pictures, and I said, wow, we are having an effect over here.
Wrap around pass to Wrexham. Another easy victory in this, their 5th game of the Olympics.
It was as if the President of the United States was in the midst of a caravan that was going through the streets.
It was like the Beatles, where there's thousands and thousands of people waiting all the time.
That was the most exhilarating 15 seconds of my life.
We're like, wow, this is amazing.
Nenhum jogador do Dream Team viveu mais intensamente do que Charles Barkley a experiência olímpica. Depois da cotovelada polêmica no jogo contra Angola, Barkley despontou como o membro mais proeminente da equipe.
Everybody always had the same question. How much of an ass is Charles Barkley?
Hey, Jack, when am I going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated for this stuff? I should be on the Dream Team cover.
And then every time you'd go spend time with him, you'd just realize that he was the most enjoyable act, not only in all of sports, but possibly in all of pop culture.
Barkley foi enaltecido por curtir a experiência das Olimpíadas seguindo suas regras, de um jeito um pouco mais quieto, onde seus companheiros de equipe deu um jeito de fazer o mesmo.
We had the motorcycle escorts and we bust through traffic like Dick Tracy. But this one day we got stuck in traffic and we're just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. Finally I said, that's it. Let's go. Anybody wants to go with me? I'm
He'd get off the bus and his family met him. He started walking right through the middle of everybody and nobody noticing. I'm still on the bus, seeing him walk down the street, and I'm saying to myself, I would give anything to do what he just did.
See, guys, this is called the rhombus. See all the footprints? All right.
Sort of Los Ramblas, it's like Times Square or something. There's just so many people walking. I'm 6'1", I'm about the average size of everybody else on that little walk. So I'm walking with my family and I have the camera and nobody's noticing.
You think it's the sunglasses that's fooling them? Must be. Hi, you're from America?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Whereabouts?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. You been watching the Dream Team at all?
Yeah, I watched what you expect.
They're pretty good, aren't they? Yeah.
No attention whatsoever. Finally, we ran across this lady who had the Dream Team and all the pictures on her T-shirt.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you an American?
But of course.
You look wonderful.
Why, thank you.
She started speaking real excitedly about each of the players. And I said, have you had a chance to meet anyone?
Of course. We met Charles Barkley the other night.
Did you? He's a hell of a player. See, you got all the players right there on your shirt. Is Charles the only one you've ever seen?
The only one I've ever met.
Hey, guys, do you know any of those guys on there?
I think my oldest in Houston ruined the surprise.
That's my dad. Your dad?
That's your dad? Too bad he's not here.
You play on a team?
I do, yeah.
Who is that guy?
I can't go anywhere without being bugged. Really not much different from Michael Jordan walking through here.
Para os jogadores, experiências surreais viraram rotina, mas as amizades improváveis formadas por trás das cortinas foram mais memoráveis ainda.
It was a unique mix. You know, Larry Bird and Patrick Ewing became like best friends. I got a white guy from Indiana, and I got a brother from Jamaica.
Patrick said I could pick his mind. It took me 3 minutes. Now he gets a chance to come back and start picking on mine.
Took me one.
We were probably the two of the most unlikely people you thought that would be friends. But if you look, not only Larry and I got to be great friends, but all of those guys got to be much better friends.
We all enjoyed each other. We all enjoyed the ride. And we got a sense of each other as men. Then, when we got to the court, it made it even better.
À medida que os jogadores se aproximavam do seu objetivo, a química do Dream Team virava a marca registrada do seu sucesso. As amplas vantagens de suas vitórias ilustravam o domínio, mas os números não tinham como explicar a sensação inesquecível de ver a equipe em ação.
Guys played the best basketball you've ever seen in your life. It was literally like great poetry or great art.
At times you feel you're watching a performance, a concert, rather than a basketball competition.
This was fun. This was like, it's how basketball's supposed to be.
No centro de toda a diversão se encontrava o maior astro do time, que tinha vindo a Barcelona no auge de sua forma, mostrando a explosão de sua popularidade.
I will say this one thing about Michael Jordan. I've been around other celebrities in my life. I've never seen people react like they do to him. People go crazy when they see him.
In every corner of the world, there was someone who just wanted to see him.
Here's Michael Jordan!
No one had the sort of pull, the gravity that Michael Jordan had.
Jordan foi a Barcelona a contragosto, mas um passeio matinal antes da partida final revelou o significado que a experiência olímpica tinha tomado.
What time in the morning is it right now?
6:30, 6:45, something like that. And I'm drinking coffee, so it's gotta be early. Can we go now? Where are you from?
Albuquerque?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Big fan of yours. Everyone's a big fan of yours.
Your name?
George Hirsch.
George, how you doing?
I'm doing
Michael
great.
Jordan, nice to meet you. Last night I hit my wall, man.
Did you?
I couldn't make a basket.
What are you doing up so early?
I do remember getting up early to walk into the stadium.
That is the thing that I remember the most about the Olympics. Olympic Stadium Imagine all the athletes that's been here before us. It's amazing. What about Edwin Moses? Won 122 consecutive races. I think everybody's got something to cherish. I think this is something that my kids are gonna love one day.
O Dream Team voltou a enfrentar a Croácia na final, deixando mais uma marca duradoura de sua supremacia.
Barkley with the lead from on it. Behind the back, Drexler.
Team USA came to send a message tonight.
We wanted to win and we wanted to dominate, but how we did it, sharing the ball, including everybody. We did it as a true team.
The U.S. has defeated Croatia 117-85, and they have won the gold here in Barcelona.
Campeón olímpico y medalla de oro, el equipo de los Estados Unidos de América.
Não havia dúvidas que o Dream Team seria campeão em 92, mas quando eles voltaram à quadra para receber as medalhas de ouro, o momento foi emocionante.
You saw a lot of tears from players. It was a very proud moment for me because anytime you represent your country, you know, that's a prideful thing.
Man, sent chills down my spine. It was a reward that I had never felt like that I would ever achieve. To do it on that stage with those group of guys, it's a memory I'll never forget.
Nothing in my life has ever felt like standing on that podium. I was getting goosebumps.
Every single time I heard the national anthem after that had a different significance to me. I knew what it really meant, you know.
As a young kid growing up, I used to watch Olympics on TV with my father, and all he talked about was the Star-Spangled Banner and the gold medal. It made him feel proud to be American. Being up on that podium that night and receiving it, my father, he'd been pretty proud.
All those emotions just overcame me. I got to be one of the guys one more time for my country. I said, man, I'll never forget this moment. You know, if this is the end, this is how I wanted to go out.
This group may well be the greatest team ever assembled in the history of team sports.
Porém, após o encerramento da cerimônia, caiu a ficha.
When I walked off, I remember thinking that whole dream has come to an end.
Na temporada seguinte, todos os jogadores olímpicos voltariam à NBA, exceto Magic Johnson e Larry Bird. Michael Jordan e Scottie Pippen venceriam seu terceiro título contra o Phoenix Suns, de Charles Barkley, e as últimas 3 conquistas seriam com Tony Kukoc no time. Com o tempo, outros jogadores do Dream Team também venceriam títulos na NBA, e 11 deles foram eternizados no Hall da Fama. Apesar disso, o que eles realizaram juntos em Barcelona teve o impacto mais importante no esporte.
It really lifted basketball, and it gave birth to international stars who had nothing to do with those games in '92, but who took so much from it.
We made the game a worldwide game. You know, I talked to Tony Parker, I talked to Ginobili, I talked to Dirk Nowitzki. Those guys say their first love of basketball started with the Dream Team, and I'm really proud of that.
O mundo muda muito em 20 anos, mas existem momentos de que nunca nos esquecemos, independente de como o tempo passa e indiferente do que mudou em nossa vida. 20 anos depois, todos continuam ligados ao esporte de alguma forma e todos ainda falam dos Jogos de 92 como se tivesse sido ontem. Até hoje, foi uma experiência sem igual em suas extraordinárias vidas como jogadores de basquete.
I've never had more fun being around anybody. Everybody got along. There was no ego. We had fun. You know, clearly everybody reminds me I never won a championship. So that to me was like winning the championship, winning the gold medal and hanging out with these guys.
A recompensa por si só é uma pequena parte da história. O que vai unir esses homens para sempre é aquilo que a medalha representa.
This is like this fraternity. That's pretty awesome.
I don't think you're ever going to be able to get 11 Hall of Famers to play all at once, you know, on one team. That's unheard of.
Ha! We go on the bus. Ha! We come back. Ha! Walk out the hotel. Ha! Wave. Ha! Wave outside your window. Ha! I can't believe it. I lost it so magical. I just saw my God.
It changed sport as we know it. They showed the world how to play basketball. What other team can say that? I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again. It's an insult to compare anybody else to that team.
Take a good look. Perhaps we'll never see a team this great again.
No team will ever have that happen, hasn't had that happen, and that's the dream team.
Você reclama que seu time precisa ter marcação. Fica nervoso quando falta jogada ensaiada. Grita pelo esquema tático. Mas e você? Já baixou o aplicativo Sport TV do seu time? Calendário de jogos, notícias, estatísticas, vídeos, está tudo lá. Só falta você fazer a sua parte. Baixe agora o aplicativo Sport TV do seu time. Nesta casa, todo mundo tem TV por assinatura. Mas quem decide mesmo o que as crianças podem assistir são os pais. Na TV por assinatura não há restrição de horário para exibição de programas. Por isso, é possível bloquear conteúdos de acordo com a classificação indicativa através de uma senha. Seus filhos podem aproveitar uma programação de qualidade com toda a segurança. Para tirar dúvidas de como bloquear programas, canais